Hey, it's Kim Komando today, your daily podcast to keep you up to date with all things digital and beyond. And I'd love to have you be a part of our podcast. You can make an appointment to speak with me. Just head over to Komando.com, and on the top right, there's a button that says Email Kim. Fill that out, and that's it. I always like to start with something interesting, and let's talk about your Wi-Fi network names. I named mine at the house the FBI surveillance van. It was so funny because Barry came over and he's like, Kim, there's a Wi-Fi network near us. It's called the FBI surveillance van. I looked at him and said, that's us. But there are other funny names out there. Drop it like it's a hotspot, like that. Keep it on the download. Bill Y, the Science Fi. Okay. The Hogwarts Hall of Wi-Fi. That's pretty cute, too. How about Chance the Router? Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's Wi-Fi. There's just a couple more. Wu-Tang LAN. And how about Why Fight the Feeling? Get it? Why Fight the Feeling? And then after reading this list and taking a look at it, I think I'm going to change the name of our home Wi-Fi network from the FBI surveillance van to Panic at the Cisco. And you see, on that happy note, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, to this. It's Kim Komando today. We've expanded my successful weekend radio show that's heard on over 425 stations throughout the United States and also around the world on Armed Forces Radio. I love that. 350 servicemen and women get the Kim Komando show every single weekend on the Armed Forces Network Radio. And thank you, all you guys and gals who have served in the military or serving right now. We all appreciate your service to our country. All right, every single day I scour the news sites and I read white papers, at least 30 different sites. The only thing that I really keep up with is anything consumer tech or technology related as it works with you, your electronics, your gadgets, your gizmos, also what's going on with the government. And I want to always present you the 5 things that you need to know. And at the top of this Kim Komando today, let's talk about the 5 things that are happening in the news that you need to know right now, as scammers are now increasing the push with their phishing scams. As the holidays are quickly approaching, phishing with a PH is one thing, but you also have to watch out for vishing. Now, vishing are these voicemails, or they actually call you and you answer the phone, where a scammer impersonates a company. And maybe they'll call you directly, or maybe they'll send you an email saying, you need to call us right now. Like phishing, all they want to do is convince you to just hand over your credit card, your data, your money, whatever it may be. And at this time of year, more of these scams are pretending to be Amazon. In one, you'll get an email from a Gmail account, usually with the subject line of invoice ID or your order. And it looks like it's from Amazon. It's normally referencing something. Maybe it's a laptop, a TV, an Xbox that says that you've purchased. You didn't order anything like that, but you might be inclined to call the number under Contact Us to tell them, like, this is a mistake. I didn't order any of this. Well, a real person will answer the phone, and they want the order number, your name, and guess what? Your credit card details to make sure, lucky you, that you're not going to get charged for that. Or you might get an email that appears to be from Amazon about an upcoming shipment delivery, again, with a phone number to call. So you want to watch out for these phishing scams, these vishing scams, because it's too easy to get hooked. Number 2 on our list is in-flight Wi-Fi isn't going to be so horrible anymore. Whether you use Wi-Fi in your next flight or not, 3 things are certain. It's going to be inexpensive, it's going to be unreliable, and it's going to be slow. But all this is about to change. I love when technology comes forth. Elon Musk's company SpaceX announced that its satellite internet service, Starlink, it's going to be offered to major airlines and private business jets. So regardless of how many miles that you fly each year, in-flight Wi-Fi is no longer going to be this nightmare that it's patchy and glitchy. Then they have companies like GoGo and Viasat and Tucows. They're the biggest in-flight providers, and they've had decades to get it right. But let me tell you, they just haven't done it. Here's my experience, and I'll tell you, I'm not being compensated by anybody to tell you this, but I'm using Starlink in my home as a backup to my local cable provider. And even operating with only 1/10 the number of satellites that we'll eventually use, Starlink is already stable, it's fast, and it's inexpensive. And fortunately, we can look for an improvement in in-flight Wi-Fi very soon. Number 3 on our list is the hottest app today is one that nobody really expected. There's a brand new iPhone app. It's aimed directly at teenagers. It's called Gas. It's the #1 social networking download in the Apple App Store. And even though it's limited, at least for now, to just a handful of states, you open the app and it begins by asking you multiple choice questions about classmates. You can choose yearbook-style descriptions like, The most beautiful person you have ever met is so-and-so, or the classmate is never afraid of getting into trouble, or the classmate that's always has a smile on her face and she's a heck of a lot of fun. Get this, there are no negative answers, no insults, no put-downs. Everything is positive and upbeat. Or as the app says, the answers are designed to gas everybody up. Voting is anonymous, but here's how they make money. If you want to see who compliments you so far, then you do have to pay them. Right now, there's been about 500,000 downloads in only 8 weeks. Number 4 on our list of 5 things is that we have 10 more fatal crashes involving Tesla's autopilot. Tesla's now over 800,000 cars operating on America's highways. And during the past 4 months, that's mid-May to, say, mid-September, there have been 10 deaths in accidents while the Tesla was using its autopilot system. That's more than 2 deaths per month. 4 deaths involve motorcycles. Motorcycle Tesla crashes are increasing, raising the question, what's wrong with it? So the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration has been investigating Tesla's autopilot since August of last year after a string of crashes going back to 2018. Tesla collided with emergency vehicles parked along roadways with all their lights flashing. That was the worst one. Now, we're not going to call autopilot inherently dangerous, but for now, as a Tesla Plaid owner, I will tell you, I don't use it, and I don't trust it. And finally, number 5 on our list, butterboards. That's right, holiday parties are almost here, and if your host offers you this flavorful butterboard spread, in one word, don't. Butterboards are the current food range on social media, TikTok and Instagram. What you do is you take a cutting board, you smear butter on it, lots of it, at least 1/4 inch thick. And then you sprinkle any single thing that you want right on top of it. Maybe it's nuts and onions and seeds and spices, even edible flowers and pepperoni, anything. Then you serve it. And then the guests will spread this mixture on bread or crackers. And like social media fads are so often dangerous. See, large amounts of butter is not only bad for your arteries, but these cutting boards are notoriously full of dangerous bacteria trapped in the board's microscopic knife marks. And so no matter how hard you scrub it, some bacteria could remain and you might get food poisoning. So tell your family and friends about these butter boards, and you can always help me spread the word. All right, coming up here on this Kim Komando Today you don't want to miss, we have your phone as your own meteorologist, some new weather tools. Oh, we're going to tell you what Gmail, Yahoo, and Outlook get from you when they give you a free email account. And also we're going to tell you an innovative way that you can give out your Wi-Fi password without actually saying it's blah, 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 number, uppercase, lowercase, gang sign, hyphen. You know what I'm talking about. And of course, we have all of your phone calls that you never want to miss. And of course, me, Kim Komando. Hey, our T-Mobile Unlimited listener line is now open at 1-888-825-5254 is the way to join us. And if you ever have a question for me and you're just too shy to come on a national big-time radio show and award-winning podcast, I totally get that. All you have to do is head over to Komando.com, and in the upper right-hand corner, there's a link that says Email Kim, and I read every single question that you send me. Again, that's Komando with a K, of course, Komando.com. And in the upper right-hand corner, there's a link that says Email Kim. And how about we start with all of your fantastic phone calls, and Rich in Quincy, Illinois. Hi there, Rich.
Hi, Kim. Thanks for taking my call.
You betcha. You betcha.
All right. My situation is this. I have a friend in St. Louis who I've known for about roughly 10 years or so.
Okay.
And he's a professional friend. We've always communicated either by telephone or using his company's proprietary messaging system,
okay,
which is all secure and everything. So he informed me he was going to come to town to spend a weekend. He and his wife were going to take in some of the touristy things between here and maybe Hannibal. I said, that's great. Let's do lunch. So last Saturday, we got together for lunch. The first thing that pops up on my Facebook feed on the carousel where it says, people you may know, is this guy that I had lunch with.
And you're like, dude, what's going on? Okay.
I mean, I've never searched him. I've never searched him on the internet. I've never done anything like that other than talk to him on the phone or message him through his business website.
So do you have Facebook on your phone?
I have Facebook on my phone. I have it on my PC.
Okay, so that's how it knows. So
Uh-huh.
anytime you're logged in, okay, even though Facebook is not running, unless you log out, you are logged in 24/7. Even if you don't have it open, you are logged in. And so when you went to the restaurant, Facebook said, "Oh, look at this nice guy, Rich. He's having a great meal with his buddy Bob. Oh, and look, Bob is sitting next to Rich too. I bet you they're friends." So when you opened up Facebook, it said, "Oh, look, there's your friend Bob. Don't you want to be friends with him? Or you don't like him that much, Rich, right?" So
that just freaked me out.
So now let me ask you something. Do we have did you put me on a radio station once?
Yes, I brought you to the radio market about 25 plus or minus years ago.
Thank you. Thank you. You know, being self-syndicated, you know how hard that is. And thank you for doing that.
You're quite welcome. You're quite popular.
Well, you know what? It's really the support of many program directors, including you, Rich, who really helped me launch this bad boy because, you know, CBS and ABC wouldn't give me the time of day. So
that's too bad.
Yeah.
Lost.
Well, see, the guy from CBS, I know his name. His name's Frank. Said that I won't say his last name. Said that computers were a fad like a pet rock, and the other Frank at ABC said that computers were just for geeks and freaks. And so when they told me that, I had to do it myself, and here we are, self-syndicated, and living the American dream. Rich, once again, thank you for putting me on the station, and I hope I led some clarity to what was going on with that lunch. Now, if you want to limit this from happening in the future, what you need to do is just log off Facebook whenever you can. I know it's a hassle because then you just sign back in, put in your password and your credentials, and maybe do some two-factor authentication. But this way, Facebook won't be able to track you when you're not using only their site. All right, Tammy, you're up next. Glad to have you with us.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. What's going on?
So I have a question. I have some text messages that I would like to move from my cell phone, to my computer. And I've looked at multiple apps, but which one do you trust to use for this? Because I'd like to have them in PDF form.
Okay. Are these legal text messages?
Yes. Will be used for legal purposes,
all
yes.
Right. Okay. All right, good, because I want to make sure that they retain the date and the timestamp. And if you just take screenshots, number one, that's a major pain in the neck, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay. and then you're like, okay, well, I don't have the date and the time here, so how do I make sure that it's there? What kind of phone are you using, Tammy?
Currently, I'm on an Android. It's a Samsung Galaxy A02s.
All right, that's good. You know, that's all good. Because it's Android, Samsung, there are a lot of different apps that will help you back up your text messages. But I think the one that I recommend is really the best one. Normally, I like to give 2 or 3 and say, hey, you know, you can try them all and you can pick. But I don't think that's really necessary right here. It's called SMS Backup and Restore.
Okay.
And once again, that's SMS Backup and Restore. And what it does, and the reason why I like it, is that it creates a local backup right on your PC as well. It has the messages. It also has call logs if you want that. And you can also do it manually, but if you don't want to do that, if you're going to keep using the phone, you can schedule like recurring backups. So you're not sitting there trying to remember, you know, oh gosh, crap, I better back up those text messages right now. And then you can save the whole thing up into the cloud if you want. And so if you think that somebody may be, you know, looking at your stuff, maybe wanting to delete the PDF file or whatever it may be, I don't know what your circumstances are, is that it makes it really easy to make sure that you have a copy of it, especially if it's for legal purposes, safely stored up in the cloud. It can also restore messages from existing backups. It also includes group messages, you know what I mean? So you see what I'm saying. It does everything. The pictures, the music, the videos, if somebody were to have included that. And again, it's called SMS Backup and Restore. We'll put a link to this over inside the Komando community. What that means is that if you go to komando.com/community, is that that's where I post links to programs because, oh, gosh, I hate for you guys and gals to really Google search anything because when you Google search it, I never know where you're going to end up. And then you're going to say, I download the wrong thing, and then I got some malware. And so, again, if you go to komando.com/community. Now, if you're sitting there on iPhone saying, hey, Kim, Smarty Pants, I'd like to know how to do that too, but use it for my iPhone. Of course, you have iCloud, which really works so well. But if you don't want to use iCloud, or if you don't use iCloud and you want something different, iExplorer is a texting app that really does a terrific job too. Once again, that's iExplorer. And you'll find links to that as well. I'll post that inside the Komando community. In case you're wondering, like, hey, what exactly is the Komando community? It's a way that you can help us support our program. And you support our program and allows us to continue to give you these great things like the free guides and inside the message board. But you also get to watch the show when we do it on Friday. So you get some early access to the show and you can watch the show and listen to the show before anybody else does, as well as you can get as a podcast, commercial free, and a webcast. So it's all this bundle when you become a Komando community member. And you can sign up right now. And you get a 30-day free trial, by the way, over at getkim.com. Once again, that's getkim.com. And we've got discounts for seniors and military and service personnel as well. But you can learn all about it over at getkim.com. Wait, I'll tell you, I get this question a lot. How do I back up my text messages? And so if you missed any of that or you need links, just head over to our website, komando.com. And in the search box, just go ahead and type in backup text messages. And we've got the links for whether you're using Android, you want to use that SMS backup and restore, or if you're on your iPhone, you want to use something called iExplorer. All right, let's talk about you and your health, because sitting at a computer all day in front of a screen, it can take its toll. It really can, not just on your shoulders and your back and your hands. And what you want to do is make sure that you start taking some breaks. There's the old rule, 20 minutes on, staring at the screen. You need to look away for at least 20 seconds. And then maybe even get up for a 20-minute walk, if you can do that, or even a 2-minute walk. Now, there are some tools to remind you to take a break, though. So first, for the first week, when you start trying to figure out what you're doing, is keep a log of what time it is and what exactly that you're working on. You can just make a list in your notes app or whatever, but there's also an app for that, of course. It's called App Rescue Time. It will automatically track the programs you use and the websites that you visit, and of course, the time that you're there. Now, from this list, hopefully, you'll be able to look at tasks that you can delegate or maybe just eliminate altogether. Next, set a timer to take a break every 20 or 30 minutes to get up and move around. Your smartwatch or your fitness tracker has settings to actually nudge you. But if you're more likely to silence the reminders than to actually get off your butt, there are apps that will totally lock you out of your computer on a schedule that you set. On Windows, it's called Work Rave, and on a Mac, it's called Time Out Free. And if you missed any of that, of course, you're going to find more information over on our website at komando.com. And while you're there, make sure that you get our free email newsletters. Just click the link and give us your email address, and you'll get them and stay right where you are. We have much more coming up. Okay, let me pass along a quick tip about your phone and the weather app, because you have your own meteorologist right on your phone to get weather forecasts, detailed maps, and then you'll never be surprised by rain or snow ever again. Now, if you have an iPhone, the weather app just got this major overhaul. There are daily and 10-day forecasts along with high and low temperatures. You can actually open it up and move the time so you can see what time it is and what temperature is at these precise moments. Now, if you look closely at the temperature reading, you can spot the white dot. That dot tells you the current temperature. Now, in the lower left-hand corner, there's an icon. It looks like a folded piece of paper. Tap that for a pretty detailed weather map. You can also track the weather in multiple locations. Always super handy. And as long as you have location services turned on, you can set up alerts about when rain or snow is about to start or stop. Now, Android users, sorry, this is one of the things that you don't have in the built-in Google Weather app, but you can always use an app like AccuWeather. And if you like these quick tips, make sure that you get my daily podcast. It's called the Daily Tech Update. It's about 60 seconds every single day. And wherever you get your podcast, just search for Komando with a K, of course, and be sure that you follow or subscribe so that this way you get my podcast delivered to you automatically, even when you're sleeping. All right, back to the phones we go with Rhonda. Hello there, Rhonda.
Hi, Kim. Thank you so much for taking my call. I'm so grateful. You have no idea.
Oh, well, I'm here for you. How can I help you out?
Thanks so much. I've been going through a stalking issue for about 7 or 8 years, hacking, somebody getting into my home security system to disable it. They get in my car. They put things in my car that were in my home. It's been awful. I've become a shut-in because of it. I go out for things I need only. I get on dating sites. They disable everything. I can't get in anymore. They change passwords on Facebook. I've had like 5 accounts that I have been totally locked out of. They read my email. They read my texts. They've done things. It's been crazy. I mean, I do everything. I'm like a computer tech savvy person. I get all this stuff, but nothing stops.
So who do you think it is?
I have a few ideas, but I'm not sure, and I can't prove it. It's been going on for so long that I'm at the point right now, I mean, I have to, because I live alone, I have something up against my door at night because they might disable my security system to get in. I've had different colored cars following me. I mean, people think I'm crazy, but I sit back and say to myself, this has been going on for this long, and I rethink about different things, and I say to myself, I'm not crazy. This is really happening. I've gone to the police. And
what do they say, Rhonda? What do the police say?
They say to me that it's out of their hands. There's nothing they can do. All I can do is make a report. They keep it on file. And it's just to the point now where, I mean, I change passwords, and it makes whoever's doing it very angry because I do like 35 to 40 letters, numbers, and symbols. And it takes a hacker probably 48 hours to hack a password like that.
And how do you know that they've hacked the password?
Because I go back in and I log out. After I log out, I go back in. Sometimes I can't log back in.
Do you think, Rhonda, do you think they're going to hurt you?
They've scratched my car. I've gone out a number of mornings where my trunk has been open and the seatbelts in my car are all crisscrossed. Okay. It's like it's just a mind game. It's crazy. I had to get a new car because I kept you get 2 remotes with a car. Mm-hmm. So I kept one in my apartment, and I knew somebody was in my apartment when I wasn't home. And I guess they can clone remotes
it's really easy to do. Yeah, they can. Yeah, then that's why you want to keep your keys. I know it sounds crazy, but you keep it in like a box with aluminum foil. That's that's lined in that. But let me talk. Let me just address this just for a second, Rhonda. Mm-hmm. Is that I feel sad for you because you said you're a shut-in, right? And and this has been going on so long, and it really has taken over your life, and you're not able to live a life because you're all consumed with what's been happening.
Right.
And I feel badly for you because there's a whole world out there, and you've been suffering with this, really, truly suffering with this for 7 or 8 years, as you said. And, I think you need to talk to somebody who's better than me, somebody who's higher than me, somebody who can really get in there and help you out. And I have some ideas, and I'd like to recommend them to you. So I'm going to put you on hold right now. Okay. And let me see, and I want to get some contact information from you, and then I'm going to see what I can do to put together to get you some help. And Rhonda, thank you so much for your call. It's really tough to take calls like this because technology can do wonderful things, but it can also make people see and believe things that aren't really there. Okay, you're up next. Hi there, Andrew.
So I have my whole house is a smart house. I've got I do Airbnb, so it syncs my Airbnb, so it sets the lock when I have a guest right when they're supposed to show up. It turns their code off when they leave. all my houses, lights, everything. And I have it done through Samsung SmartThings. The ADT security system it was an all-in-one device. And then I got this great little email a couple months ago as of June 1st of this year, it's going to be a really expensive paperweight.
Isn't that the biggest pile of junk you've ever heard? I mean, that they're just going to turn it off. Boom. That's it. You're done.
Yep. And I can't even use it for my local stuff. So when I first saw it, I was like, I'll still be able to use this. I just won't be able to use the security system, but I'll still be able to use this in my smart house hub. But no, it's not going to be able to do anything. Fortunately, I was able to go Google Samsung refund portal, and I was able to get sign up for a refund. So I'll get my money back. I do have to send the device in, so I have to find a replacement for it for my smart house before I send it in to get my refund. But that's what I wanted to ask you about. What are some good smart house technologies that I'll be able to do all my custom integration that I do, particularly for
the Airbnb?
I could do the next SmartThings model that they've outsourced to a different company, or is there a better technology that would serve me better?
Anytime that somebody outsources anything, it makes me really nervous because
yes, exactly.
I don't really know if they're going to have the commitment to it for the long term. And I understand what you're going through. I have some VRBOs, and I've been struggling with this myself over the years. Like, there was something that was really big called MyNexia. I wouldn't recommend that you go to it. It never really quite took off the way that the company had hoped. I've tried the Schlage locks. They work really good, but you need to have a bridge. And it's like, I don't know if I really want to have a bridge, because that's another thing that a guest is going to trip themselves up on, or a battery's going to die, right?
Right.
But with these mainstream products, I would encourage you to look at Google's Nest Hub, because Google's doing deals with the likes of ADT and the other companies. And you know that with Google, if you build it around the Google Nest Hub, is that there's going to be commitment to the product for the long run. And so with the Nest Hub, you can control your ADT, you can control your lights, your thermostats, your cameras, and you could have it all automated through Airbnb, or accordingly, if you wanted to just be able to turn on a camera or do a lock or whatever without Airbnb, if you want to switch to another service, is that you can do that as well. I found it myself really easy to use, easy to hook up. They've got it down, they being Google, that when you buy a product or you have a product, is you scan the QR code and it comes up and it goes, oh, look what I found. You're like, oh, thank you. That was so nice of you to find that. So there's not a lot of configuration along the way. The products tend to be a little bit more expensive than on another platform, but I wouldn't go with the new Samsung. Like I said, I would go with the Google Nest Hub if I were you in your position, because the commitment's going to be there for the support and the products, and the people want to be attached to the Google's Nest Hub. It used to be called the Home Hub or something like that, but of course when they acquired Nest, they got everything along the way. And again, check that out. And if you need any help afterwards, just give me a call back. And thank you so much for your call. Hey, by the way, if you do manage a rental property on Vrbo or Airbnb or anywhere else, do what I did. Make sure that you have a Google Voice number, so that this way you're not giving out your actual cell phone number to anybody who just rents from you. And again, Google Voice is absolutely free. You can learn more by going to google.com/voice. And it's a terrific way to get two phone numbers on one phone. All right, let's talk about your privacy. What Gmail, Yahoo, and Outlook get for providing you a free email account. Because you can't trust big tech with your data and your privacy, because anytime a product is free, well, then you are the product. So let's say you're a free Gmail user. Well, Google uses Gmail to monitor your purchases, your trips, your bills, and more. Google can no longer directly hit you with ads, but it does send targeted ads to your inbox. Of course, we're going to have the steps on things that you can do to make sure that limits. You can do a privacy checkup as well. Now, according to Yahoo's parent company, Verizon, Yahoo Mail shares your keywords, packages, and product identification numbers with third parties to enhance your user experience. Well, thank you for enhancing that. I'm not sure I like that either. Outlook. Microsoft recently announced that data collection would fall under two categories, required or optional. This goes after the Outlook email service and also under the Office banner. And what Microsoft says is they're just going to basically track you so that this way they know what you're doing. So there's no such thing as complete privacy, right? Well, if you want complete privacy, that's when you're going to use a program that I use called StartMail. At startmail.com, every email is encrypted and protected with a password, so big tech can't read, scan, analyze, or sell your personal information. And when you delete an email, it's gone forever. Now, StartMail is backed by the world's most robust privacy laws, and StartMail uses their own servers, not Amazon's. Plus, you can create burner accounts to share disposable email addresses and keep legitimate addresses confidential. Now, to make it even better, I set up a special deal for you. Over at startmail.com/Kim, you're going to get 50% off. That's startmail.com/Kim. And switching your email has never been easier. And they now have this really fabulous tool that will transfer all your emails and contacts with just a few clicks. Once again, that address is startmail.com/Kim for 50% off your first year. All right, still to come, an innovative way to give out your Wi-Fi password to guests and family members who may be staying with you, something that you want to set up now, way before the holidays. And of course, we have more of your great phone calls here on Kim Komando today. And if you haven't already gotten your free Windows or Mac guide, oh my gosh, you're missing out. We've had hundreds of thousands of people get it already. You should be one of them too. Head over to komando.com/free guide. Once again, that's komando.com/free guide. And whether you're on Windows or Mac, you just pick whichever one you want, give us your email address, and then you got it. Once again, it's absolutely free. We're not going to sell, lease, distribute your email address to anybody ever. You have my personal guarantee for that. And again, that's komando.com/free guides. Back to the phones we go with Jeff in Chattanooga, Tennessee. Hi, Jeff.
Hi, Kim.
Welcome. What's going on?
Well, thank you. And thank you for taking my call. I have a family domain that is currently registered with GoDaddy. But we have had it, the DNS services and email services and everything have been provided through Google's G Suite. The G Suite
that is ending.
Yes, is ending next month. And so, we haven't had to pay for email services and stuff like that using our domain name. But we have also been using the Google Drive and the Google apps for Word and Excel and the similar tools and stuff like that. Plus, we have just a ton of files, photos, and things like that stored.
Wow, and you got a lot.
Yeah, and so we don't want to. I'm looking for options to transition because I don't want to go to Google Workspace. Basically, when I talked with one of their folks, they are saying, well, we're doing this, among other reasons, because it's supposed to be used for business purposes. And, if you want to keep using this, you're going to be paying $5 a month per email account. And I'm just like going,
Which, which I mean, that can actually add up. I mean, you're not the only one who has this concern. Jeremy is one of our IT geniuses over at Komando.com.
Okay.
And he found that Name, and I'm going to give you we'll give you the link, but there's a company called Namecheap.
Okay.
And you can get email with your domain, 10 accounts is going to be under $10 a month.
Okay.
But it doesn't have all the features that you need and you've been getting for free from Google's G Suite. But it is a way to start. We're going to write more about this over at Komando.com. But if you just want to now port over the email addresses, or we probably have time to put together a comprehensive tip for you before it ends. But in case you want to check that out, we'll put a link to it over at Komando.com inside the community. Just hit the Q&A forum. And we're going to keep doing some more research on this because I know a lot of folks are like you. They're wondering now what do I do? Jeff, thank you so much for your calls. So it's the holiday weekend. If you're looking for something fun to stream, I mean, how about some scary Halloween movies, right? On Netflix, I want you to check out The Midnight Club. This is really an innovative storyline. You have this group of terminally ill patients. They're all in hospice, and they meet each night at midnight. But the whole deal is that they promise that when one of them dies, they're going to have to send a message to the others from beyond. And also on Netflix, it's been trending like crazy, The Curse of the Bridge Hollow. A teenage girl accidentally releases a mischievous spirit, and it causes all the Halloween decorations come to life. Wow, could you imagine? Yeah, that's pretty frightening right there. But if you want to be seriously scared, I mean, petrified, frightened, on Hulu, there's a series called The American Horror Story. I can't watch it. I've watched a few. And I'm like, this is just going to keep me up night after night. This is not anything fun for me. It's now on its 11th season. And the whole gist is that a family moves into this house. And of course, the house is haunted. But these ghosts are nowhere like the friendly Casper the Ghost. Nuh-uh. These are demons. These are ghosts that, well, they devour the people. You just have to see it. Again, it's called, or maybe not, it's called The American Horror Story. It's on Hulu. Seriously, it is very, very scary. Finally, on Disney Plus, there's Werewolf by Night. It follows a group of monster hunters. It's not terribly scaring, but there is something for everybody. So, this weekend, it's the Halloween weekend. Just why don't you sit back and say, come on, everybody, let's watch something really scary, or maybe not. Maybe just go watch the Bridgertons or something like that. Or Yellowstone. That's always a good choice, too. All right, before you know it, Christmas and the holidays, it's going to be here. I mean, this time of year, it just goes by so quickly. And when you have family members and friends over, everybody's always going to want to jump on your Wi-Fi network. And that's, of course, you can do it a few ways. You can share it. In my bathroom or in the guest room, rather, what I do is I put a picture frame. And in the picture frame, there's a QR code. Okay. Of course, in the picture frame, you can always list the network name and the network password. But the QR code, it's just so sweet. And it signs that person right into your Wi-Fi network automatically. They don't have to do a thing. So what you do is you go to this website called qrcodemonkey.com and you select Wi-Fi. That's where you enter your network name and the password and then create a QR code. Then you download the QR code, you print that code out, and you put it inside of a picture frame. And then your guests simply, as I mentioned, just point their device's camera right at the QR code and they're logged into your network automatically. And you don't have to say, it's an uppercase, lowercase. Those days are over. Again, the website is qrcodemonkey.com. Thanks for being here. Thanks for listening. And don't forget to always subscribe or follow our podcast. And with my last name, that's Komando with a K. Hey, thanks for listening to Kim Komando today. So reach over and give me a nice 5-star review. Yes, thank you. And thanks for listening.